Now I'm going to get back to screen share. That worked out easily. Okay. So I'll just go over that again. Just the socially connected, the one of the three circuits in the nervous system. Socially connected, first one is that we're feeling safe, friendly, playful, and creative. And the story that goes along with that, because the brain always makes a story up in reaction to what's going on in the nervous system. And that story is I belong, and that the world is welcoming and filled with opportunity. So like even right now, we're connecting on through a screen, even though it's through a screen, but we're sharing this experience together. So, and we can see each other's faces and eyes and smile. So so we're not isolated. Thank heavens for technology these days. So the second circuit is fight or flight. That's when the brain slows down, problem solving becomes more difficult. It's harder to stay focused. We feel anxiety or anger, and we can simply act or react. And the story that the brain makes up when we're in fight or flight is I feel crazy or panicked, and I'm trapped in a world that's unfriendly and scary. If the fight flight isn't too strong, then, and we feel safe enough, then this becomes a challenge rather than a threat. So that's good to know. And then the third circuit is the freeze circuit, where we collapse and shut down. And someone asking me a question? Or?
Yes. You want to go back to screen share so we can see your...
Oh, you're not, thank you. Thank you. I thought I did that. Thank you, Ellen. Let's see. This is not working. Let me try this. There we go. No, it's not. For some odd reason, I have a full screen and I'm not able to get, that's odd, back to even seeing you guys. So I'm going to try escape. Let's try that. That worked. Okay. Now we'll move that down. There. Now I can find you. That's all this technology. I'm still learning. My nervous system is still, I'm going to stay calm. Oh. So I'll go back to screen share. And there we go. And then, okay. And I'm going to try to go quickly through that. And I'm just not going to bother going into the slide share. I'll just scroll down. It'll be easier. Where did you guys see this one? Did you guys see this particular one? Can everybody see that now on the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, just want to make sure. And just tell me when, like, did you see this one?
No.
Okay, so that's the fight flight. And then again, if we're if we're in fight flight and the stimuli is more moderate, then we feel safe enough so that it becomes a challenge rather than a threat. Okay. And then the third circuit, which is the freeze, collapse, shut down. So the story there is I'm invisible, unlovable, I'm feeling abandoned or lost and alone. So, and the world is cold and empty. Okay. So as Deb Dana says, I'll quote her, the lovely thing about making a friend, if we want to befriend our nervous system, is that you don't just make a friend in one moment. You begin a friendship, then you work at that friendship, and then you deepen the friendship and you stay in it. And so that's really what we need to do with our nervous system. We befriend it and know that it's in a dance with us. I really love that perspective. Our nervous system is in a dance with us. And so she suggests that we be curious about how those three circuits manifest in our lives so we can know our friend better. And it's really about knowing how the three circuits show up so we can manage them too. So consider like the police officers. if they didn't practice being attacked, then they could shut down and not be able to actually maintain and stay calm in their, calm down their nervous system to be able to deal with it rationally with what they have to deal with. And the whole thing about co-regulation, I'm sure you've all been around people where, you know, if they're really upset, you feel it in your body immediately. So then the nervous system, it's amazing how they pick up what's going on in another nervous system around us. So the idea is, how do we learn how to stay calm? And we'll talk about those steps in a minute. Okay. Looks like I went through that again. I'm going backwards. Here we go. Okay, so the other thing we want to do is recognize how fast the nervous system reacts, so that when we have a stimulus, it reacts in less than a second. And then it sends a message to, and if the brain is integrated, then the amygdala sends a message to the prefrontal cortex. So I'm going to show you, Dan Siegel has this, and can everybody see my hand and see me in this box? I need a yes or a no?
Yes.
Okay, okay, good. So consider that, and this is the way Dan Siegel talks about it. He's a psychiatrist who practices out in California and author of many, many books. Mindsight, I think, is one of them. The most recent one is Aware. Anyway, so consider this is the brain. So here's the brain stem, and this would be the amygdala under here, and this would be the prefrontal cortex. So if the nervous system sends the message up through the brainstem and to the amygdala. And if the brain is integrated, then the prefrontal cortex will say it will let the amygdala know that we've been here before, we can relax, it'll all be okay. But if it's really intense, then what he calls is we flip our lid. So then there's no connection between the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. There's no. Okay. So it's just a way to remember how powerful the nervous system is in our lives. And so just taking a look at when the nervous system is in balance, then it's tend and befriend, and we can act comfortably, we know what we're doing. And also the parasympathetic nervous system is activated when needed, and that's the one that responsible for rest and digest. So when it's out of balance, then we have the fight, flight, or freeze. And the social, we're not involved in social connection. We're not wanting to be connected. So I'm going to use myself as an example. Yesterday morning, I was sitting with a group of probably about 14, 15 people on Zoom. It's the Mondo Zen group, and which I am a part of. And we sit, what happens is, and I'm telling you about this because everybody's welcome if you want to join. Anyway, so what happens is we sit for 30 minutes in silence. And then afterwards, there's a moderator, one of the priests, and he or she will offer something that is inspirational. And then when you check, then we all check in, and you can either use what he or she offers or not. It's up to you. So what he offered yesterday was that we're not the body, and that we are that which animates the body. So when it was my turn to check in, what I said was, between stimulus and response, there's a space. And in that space lies the opportunity for growth. So that is usually attributed to Viktor Frankl. Anyway, if we're mindful in that space, we have a choice to respond rather than react. All right. But what I recently learned is that Stephen Porges, what he found in his research is that between the stimulus and the response, there's an internal reaction. That's when the nervous system reacts. So what I said then was that this body's nervous system is making my heart pound. And I think that's because I want everybody to like me. So I just sat with that for a minute and I said, so if I stay with this pounding heart, let's see. And then it was like, well, nothing's coming. So then I shifted my focus. And so what was happening there is that I was going into that freeze state, right? Because I couldn't think of anything to say. So I shifted my focus and I shared something else. And then, so what I'd like to share with you is that, and I'm going to see if I'm going to stop the screen share for now, and then we can come back to this later, is that some of you are friends with me on Facebook. I think all of you are, as a matter of fact, people I can see, yeah. Anyway, and then if you are, you know that every morning I post a picture, or almost every morning I post a picture, a photograph as a good morning greeting. Right? One of the photographs that I was taking. So a little later after we got off the Zoom call, I looked at the comments on my photo, and one of the people who was on the Zoom call, she's a nurse from White Plains who I've never met. Anyway, she commented under one of my flower photos, right? And her comment said, "I like you."
Oh.
Is that the sweetest? I smiled about that about 100 times yesterday. I thought, that is so sweet. Anyway, so, and I realized afterwards, it's time, take a mindful pause, because why would I get that, nervous, so to speak. Dorothy saying, "I like you too." Thank you. Oh, that's wonderful. My husband kindly said to me, well, I'll share that with you in a minute. All right. Thank you. So at any rate, what I would like to do at this point then is this would be a good place to stop, and for us to practice coming into our bodies and appreciating being in the body, just because if we're going to get to know our nervous system and how it reacts, we need to be comfortable in our bodies. So for a lot of people that takes practice, because we're a culture that really supports being up in our heads. So why didn't you get into a comfortable position? And let's see. I'll start by ringing the bell. Okay. So as with any practice, so adapt this to your needs, taking good care of yourself. So and disengage from anything that feels uncomfortable or too uncomfortable. Well, let's start with taking just a few deep breaths and scan through the body. Perhaps starting at the feet, recognizing just how the feet are feeling right now. And if there's any tension, inviting relaxation. And then moving up through the legs, aware of the legs. Aware of the pelvis, the support of the chair or the cushion under you. Feeling the belly. Noticing if the belly is tight or soft. Moving up into the chest, noticing if you can feel your heartbeat. And then bringing awareness to your back and the whole three-dimensional torso. And to mute everybody. I can figure out how. Moving up, becoming aware of the shoulders, relaxing the shoulders, allowing them to drop down. Relaxing the neck. Noticing inside, even as you relax it, how it's feeling right now. If it does feel more constricted, or if it feels more open. And then moving down, feeling the arms and the chest. The arms, forearms, hands. Seeing if you can feel tingling in the hands, the life energy in the hands. And then moving attention up into the face. Noticing if there's tension in the lips and the tongue. Allowing the forehead to broaden. Just settling in. Seeing if you can be aware of the whole body at one time. Now get a sense of being on your own side, bringing to mind other people who appreciate you, or like you, or love you, and open yourself to feeling cared about. Imagine your life as a kind of movie, starting when you were very young and moving forward to the present. Watching this movie, see some of the ways your body has protected and served you. Even if it has limitations, disabilities, or illnesses, it is still taking care of you in so many ways. Imagine your body saying how it has helped you, such as, I grew eyes so you could see. I built a marvelous brain so you could think and dream. My arms have let you hold those you love. I've enabled you to walk and work, dance and sing, and enjoy so much pleasure. And now scanning some of the major parts of your body. See if you can appreciate each one of them. Perhaps saying to yourself things like, thank you for carrying me along. Or thighs, you've done your job countless times, and I'm very grateful. Or heart and lungs, all those beats and breaths. I so appreciate you. Hands and hips, I accept you as you are. Chest and arms, neck and shoulders, head and hair. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Imagine your body in the days to come. See yourself in different situations over the next year, perhaps with friends, at work or at family gatherings. And imagine that you completely accept your body. Imagine that you really appreciate your body. Imagine that you enjoy your body in these situations. Noticing how good it would feel to relate to your body in these ways. Letting these good feelings sink into you as you sink into them. In a moment, I'll ring the bell to end this meditation. So if I come back to sharing the screen and also feeling relaxed after that meditation, as Deb Dana says, that sometimes the reactions are not based on what's actually happening in this moment. They're based on prior experiences or something that feels familiar to a prior experience. So, another my example, my reaction was when I investigated it was sort of memories to being rejected when I was a teenager and being with peers, and yeah. So I can update that now because these people are not teenagers. Well, she says try to bring some awareness to the patterns so that we can decide if the pattern is serving this moment. So really that means making or taking a mindful pause, and creating space between the physiological experience, and the story that is created about it. So my story was, first off, was to wonder, why did I freeze? Why did the brain freeze? And after I thought about it, it's because I wanted to say something insightful or funny. And I always want to do that. And I was sharing that with my husband, Michael, and his response was to me was, writers write 1 or 2 pages a day. That's impossible to have something insightful or funny to say all the time. So it's like, oh, okay, that's good. Really gives me some good perspective. And the other thing is, my question was, why with this particular group? Because normally I don't care whether other people like me or not, because my focus is on caring for them, And of course, then Michael's comment was, don't you want your students to like you? And then my thought was, well, that's a given, or else they wouldn't show up. So thank you all for putting that in the chat. That was very sweet. So again, though, the question to me was, so what's really different? As I thought about it, is this particular group, the Mondo Zen group, is committed to staying awake. That's what it's about. And also to telling the truth. So truly, that's the peer group of my dreams. I want to be around people who are going to tell me the truth and aren't going to run away when something difficult comes up. They'll work through it. So again, as I said earlier, it was that nervous system was reacting to the way I was treated when I was a teenager, or even a child. You know how kids can be mean to each other. That feeling rejected or being outcast from a group. And with this particular group, I know that this group believes that our true nature is love. So I was able to feel, to let that, so I can update. What I was doing was updating the nervous system, so that it'll be interesting next time I check in to see if the heart stays calm or slower. It'll be very interesting. So let's talk a little bit about the ways to calm the nervous system. Some of you, we've talked about this before. Dana recommends sighing, that when we sigh, which we do several times an hour anyway, but we can do it consciously. And what it does is interrupts thinking, that, you might want to try that. Just take a deep breath and let it out slow with the sound. And then also to calm the nervous system, a deep inhalation followed by a long, slow exhalation. Again, that's kind of like sighing too, I would say. Putting cold water on the face activates what's called the dive response. And what that does is to calm the system down, because when we are underwater, the nervous system knows that we need to conserve energy. So everything kind of slows down. Kind of interesting. And also stimulating the muscles of the face, because when we co-regulate, we're with someone, if we want to calm them down, let's say, then if we use our face, we'll use our eyes, the eyebrows may go up, there's a smile, the vagal nerve, which comes out of the brain stem, out of the cranial nerve, there's lots and lots of nerves that come to the face, that end at the face, around the lips especially. And then I can't remember, Marshall Linehan, who's the founder of dialectical behavior therapy, talks about, so then just stimulating the upper lip. I used to watch my husband. One of the things he would do is, and you might want to try this, the index finger, the nail is very smooth. It feels good on the upper lip. But anyway, he used to do that to calm himself, or he still does. Let's see. So singing and humming will help to relax the nervous system and activate the parasympathetic. And of course, focusing on positivity. In fact, maybe next week what we'll do is focus on doing loving kindness meditations. So, let's see. Yeah, and sometimes though, if we notice that we're in the freeze response, one of the ways to stimulate, because sometimes we may need to stimulate the nervous system to get the sympathetic nervous system going, to get us moving, to do something, is first to pay attention to the physical sensations in the body. And I found this one on WikiHow. So what they say is as you begin to break out of the freeze response, your fight or flight response may kick in. And if this happens, they say taking action or making a movement can help you feel calmer. Like, for example, you may calm yourself down by pacing or running in place, stomping your feet, or even punching a pillow. And then there's also what's called the breath of joy. So if you Google that, you'll find a lot of yoga teachers on YouTube who will go through the whole thing. What it is you take 3 breaths, sharp breaths in, like that, and then you bend forward. Doing that 3 or 4 times is supposed to activate and stimulate the nervous system. So the breath of joy. I love the name of it. And finally, as Tara Brach says, the muscles you make us smile actually send a biochemical message to our nervous system that it's safe to relax the fight, flight, or freeze response. So, I just want to show you for a moment that social engagement, as you can see, how many of those nerves go to the face and the eyes, ears. So, okay, I'm going to stop the share. Here we go. Okay, any questions so far? Does everybody feel like you're going to be able to go out and manage your nervous system with?
So I lost some of that.
Okay.
The storm is here,
Oh, okay.
and I had a minor brownout and got
Okay.
off, and but I
Okay.
was able to get back on.
Okay. Where'd you leave off, Aline?
You were talking about the internal reaction between something and something,
Okay.
and then I came back on with calming the nervous system with sighing and cold water.
Okay. Okay. So you got then the list on the ways to calm it. So
Yeah, but
yeah.
the internal reaction between something and something, I missed
Yeah.
out on what that was.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure. Does anybody remember what that part was? If not, you may have to look at the replay on YouTube, because I'm not.
That was Stephen Porges.
Yeah.
Polyvagal theory. All right,
Right. Yeah, and so
that's okay.
in between the stimulus and response, is that where I was? And then that's when the nervous system reacts.
Okay, could be.
So, okay. Well, that's important to know. Yeah. And if you can't find it, if you check out the replay, then let me know. Yeah. And I can send you the PowerPoint. Yeah. Yeah. So I'd be happy to do that. Okay. Well, if there aren't any questions, then what I thought we would do is to end with guided meditation on feeling safer now. So let's just check the, chat. No? Okay. So let's all get comfortable again. And I'll start again with the bell. Okay, so let's start again by taking some deeper breaths. Slowing the breath down. Being mindful of any tension or uneasiness. See if you can, if there's any anxiety at all, sort of even in the background, see if you can observe it and let it be, and then let it go. Let fear in any form move to the background of awareness. And in the foreground, bring to mind things that protect you. Be aware of the solidity of the floor beneath your feet, stability of the chair, sheltering of a roof over your head. Aware of the clothing, shoes, and other things that protect you. As you recognize these protections, open to feeling increasingly protected. Be aware of the things around you that are protected, such as stop signs in hospitals, keep opening to feeling protected. Allowing a sense of protection and safety to sink in, becoming a part of you. Recognize some of the many resources in your life that could help you be safe, such as people who wish you well, who would stand with you and for you. And also the resources inside you, such as endurance and determination. Opening to feeling that there's a lot that you can draw on. Challenges will come, but knowing that you've got many ways to deal with them. Keep opening to feeling safer. Let needless worry fall away. Let go of any tension. Allowing a sense of safety to sink in and spread inside you. Noticing that you are basically all right now. You may not have been all right in the past, and you may not be all right in the future. But in this moment, You are okay, protected and resourced. There may be pain, there may be hurt or sorrow off to the edges of your mind, but there is no mortal threat, no tiger about to pounce. You're fundamentally safe, moment after moment, breath after breath. Your heart is still beating. You're going on living. You're still all right. Let thoughts and feelings come and go. Abide with ease at the front edge of now. You're still breathing just fine. The next moment is passing through. You're still okay. You're safe now. Safe in this moment. Moment after moment. Basically all right. Right now. Just noticing your environment, orienting to the environment. Noticing how safe you are in this moment. And I'll end this meditation with ringing the bell. Okay. So, how's that guided meditation for you? Did anybody learn anything that you're going to be able to apply to your life today? Dorothy?
I think the minute you start getting nervous,
Yeah,
and I think you've got to recognize it and calm down and do it as soon as, and not let it build up.
right.
I think I let it build up, and then, then there's a point where something's aching on your body, or, you let it go too long.
Yeah.
I think if you attack it, or not attack it, but if you resolve it earlier, I don't think I do that. I think I let it go on too long.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so the idea is to always stay in touch with your body. And maybe check in. What Deb Dana recommends is that several times a day, check in and ask, what's the state of my nervous system right now? And I love that idea that it's sort of in a dance with us. And it's very primitive, you know, and it's not through thinking. So, but we can use thinking to calm it down. But it's vehemently focused on keeping us safe. And that's it. That's what it's about. It's keeping us safe and making us survive. Rest and digest, feed and breed. That's all it cares about. So. Yes, Anne.
Well, this has been a different day for me today. I live by myself. I have a little Schnauzer dog that is my companion. And usually she's off, not bothering anything. For some reason, the sound of your voice and everything, she spent the first part of today cuddled in my lap and just wanted to be right close by me.
Oh,
And through this whole meditation,
yeah.
she has been on the floor right next to me, insisting that I have a hand on her and that I feel protected.
Oh,
And it was such a, I mean, she's still right here very quietly by me on the floor, but she was just insistent. I need to be part of whatever it is that you're doing. I'm feeling the vibes.
Oh,
So I don't know if that's the first time you meditated with the dog or not, but you were very successful today.
And that's the beauty of it, how our nervous systems regulate. And any mammal, it can be any mammal. It's just amazing.
See, there she is.
Oh, so cute.
There's my Abby.
oh,
Thank you for showing her. She's adorable.
Yep.
Jean, you were going to say?
Yeah. So when you started to talk about feeling protected,
Yeah.
you know, I have this hurricane raging outside my house, and where I immediately went was feeling very protected by my house. And then you started to talk about the floor and the, you know, the roof and all of that stuff. And so it just fit right in.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that my cat Ziva came
I
in.
did. Yeah. Yeah.
So she also was into this.
Yes, and I saw that Dorothy wrote too that her cat frequently meditates with her. That's wonderful.
oh,
Yeah, because as our nervous system calms down, then it's very attractive to animals. They really want to be around that. When that mother cat took off for like left one kittens here. They all came back today, but that was all by itself up until after mother left. That kitten would run if I got 20 feet near it, and run away in the opposite direction as fast as it could. But by the next day, it was letting me, because I was feeding it 3 times a day, it was letting me touch it. And by the 3rd day, arms just snuggling and kneading on my neck, and you know, I mean, it was like truly it needed another nervous system to co-regulate. You know, it just, I would put food down and it would ignore the food and run to try to be in my arms.
Oh.
Fascinating to. And I've told this story before, but I remember when we were clipping my dog's nails, and my husband, he holds the dog, and I cut her nail, and he said to me that she's what's they call shaking. She's, you know, nervous. She's shaking and trembling. That's what he said. She's trembling. So I said, calm your nervous system. So he did, and about 10 seconds later, he said, oh yeah, she's stopped.
wow,
So it's
Wow.
fascinating how a nervous system, they have a relationship that's totally outside our consciousness. Yeah. Fascinating. So,
Hi, it's Holly.
hi, Holly.
Hi. I had to leave for a little bit, but the first meditation about thanking your body,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. That's really something to
Yeah. Oh,
really to do every day because it's amazing.
I think you're right. I
If you
should have done every day. I highly recommend getting this book, Resilient, by Rick Hansen. It's in
Okay.
that book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful
Okay.
book. Because he has, I mean, page after page, really what he says about the nervous system is it's about developing it so that we meet pain and threat with a calm strength. And I really like that. Yeah. Chuck, you were going to say something?
Yeah, two items. One, did you create those visuals yourself?
Yeah, yeah.
Well
Well,
done.
no, I pulled them off of Google.
Oh, you got it. Well, good. They were well done. That's so good. Good resources. Use the resources. Number
Exactly.
two question:
Yeah.
where are you in your home? You got all this green around you. Is that all natural green or?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I have this heart that can't. Plants don't have nervous systems, but I have this fear. It's like I can't. They grow, so then they multiply, and so But about every 2 years, I take a huge trailer of them and put them down by the road, and I write free plants, and within a few hours they're gone. So.
So what part of your house are you in? I haven't been there, so I don't know
Yeah,
the
this is
geography.
our great room. Yeah,
It's a what?
this is our great room.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to come and visit us in the winter, we've got a hot tub back here. We can all fit 10 people. Yeah, and then we go swimming in the pond. In fact, I made the pond so that I can swim in it. I put copper sulfate in, so it took care of the parasites that people get swimmer's itch from. It also killed all the algae, which is why people use it. But I wanted it so I could swim in my pond and not get out and have, bites all over me. So anyway.
Good.
Yeah.
I remember when you were just making that pond, we were out there visiting you.
Yeah. Well, and then we dug it all up and made this one, which is about 10 times bigger. So, because I wanted to swim. Yeah. But anyway, so anybody else want to share about or questions about working with the nervous system, managing the nervous system?
Unrelated to this, I just wanted to pass on a note of appreciation for you bringing to our attention Yoga Nidra, because I downloaded several of the guided meditations. I believe her name is Ellie Boudruth.
Okay.
And it is so relaxing. About once a day, I get down on the floor or on the bed and just kind of zone out, literally, because it is so mesmerizing, really. So just a word of thanks for playing that to us.
Thank you. Would you write that in the chats too, her name, so
Sure.
people can maybe and if people want, I can always send you out the chat replay too. And also, go ahead, Colin.
How about I text it to you, because I don't know the spelling right off the top of my head.
Okay, sure, that'd be good.
Did you send out an email about that Deeply Relax by
No,
Wolf?
Dorothy, yeah, but I know you were saying, I planned to, but you were saying that you got one of the Yoga Nidra.
Yeah, it's called Deeply Relax and his last name is Wolf, I think.
Yeah.
And that, like Colin said, that really, really relaxes me. In fact, there's some deep stuff in there that I think the more you do it, the more it's going to start coming, to the surface.
Wow. I'm going to have to check it out. I'll send out a copy of that to everybody too, okay?
Okay.
I know that, and then after you send that text to me too, Colin, so I'll send out both of them, the one from Dorothy and Colin. So thank you. Great. Yeah. Well, it's wonderful to see everybody's faces. Anybody else want to just check in, share anything?
I was going to say, I read, years ago about loving your body, not just liking it, but loving it. So I go through and I love everything.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And it's very relaxing.
Wow.
And the one thing that if I say I'm driving a car and I feel my shoulders are tense, I'll just say Om. And for some reason that word relaxes me right away. I can feel my shoulders just going right down. So I think people can find maybe one word even that you could use.
Yeah, that's really a good idea. And what happens is once you pick a word that works for you, the more you use it, it gains power. So that, as soon as you use that word, then your body will respond.
I don't even have to say it. All I have to do is think it.
Think it. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah. And I, because I use, if I'm nervous or the mind is really busy, then I use focusing on the sound. I usually focus on the ringing in my ears because it's always with me. So I can pay attention to it. And it's a constant sound. So other than that, I never notice it, which is it's not very loud. But that's what worked for me. And in fact, what I usually recommend people is find which of the senses you're the most alert in, and then pick that to be your mantra or the thing that you focus on. If you're the most alert in seeing, then you may want to, if you're in your home, have a candle or a flower that you focus on. If you're most alert in hearing, then you may want to, I will sometimes even pay attention when the hot tub comes on, the sound of any machine, really. It's a constant sound. And, and if it's hearing, let's see, seeing, if it's smelling incense, and then focus on the smell of the incense. So whatever you pick. And I do like the idea of having a word too, because that can go with you. It's very portable. Yes.
Don't forget to love your cells, your body cells. You've got billions of cells in your body.
Oh,
Right. Yeah.
And your heart.
What's that?
And your heart.
And
sure and love your heart.
Yes. Thank you, Dorothy. Yeah. The Heart Math Institute is a wonderful resource too to check out, because they've done a lot of research on, and they even have devices now that you can get for regulating your heart. It's called your heart rate variability. Yeah, because the more variable your heart rate is, the healthier your heart is.
oh,
Animal days.
Aileen.
Well, I can hang around if people want to chat more, but I just want to make sure that people know it's time that it's a little after 3, so I don't want to hold people. So yes, okay. Bye, Jack, and bye, Colin.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Namaste.
Bye.
Thanks
Bye.
for a good
Love
session.
you all.
Have a good week.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So,
People are hanging around. Good. Hi.
so I have tended for a while. I think you know about the sounds that I've been hearing,
Yes.
which have diminished. I'm on a beta blocker now for the past 2 weeks,
Huh.
and that has really helped. But I've been really hyper vigilant sound-wise.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And I'm not really sure when that started, but so this was very good.
Yeah, to see all the things that are right next to you that are protecting you.
Yes,
Yeah.
including my cat.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Show them your face. You have such a beautiful face.
Yeah, no. Hard to control that, that's for sure.
You want to look?
So, so how is everybody else doing?
I had a conversation today. The paper called me, a national paper. I don't know, it just went out of my head. Anyhow, they wanted to interview me. They're writing an article about nursing homes and people that have died in them from COVID. And it's just set up on a nervous reaction to just have to talk about it. And it was all very nice. It was about 10 minutes. Oh, Washington Post.
Oh, okay.
And they're doing one person from each state, and they chose my husband to do from Wisconsin.
Wow.
And I don't know why. But anyhow, it was a nice interview, and I was glad when it was over, but it just brings up so much stuff again. And then you've got to, settle down from that.
Right, right, right. Yeah. Well, and then also to know that it may help somebody else. So
That's a good thought.
yeah, yeah. Because it's good to know for those people who have lost someone, you're not alone.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. So
That's really important.
gosh, yes. Especially now. Especially now. Some of you know Stephen Katz. He's in the meditation group, but he has a reaction to electronics, so he can't be on, and he lives alone. So, kind of sad that,
Have you talked to Stephen lately, Donna?
well, he sent me an email not too long, about last week, to let me know he was doing okay, that he'd had surgery and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But isolation, that he found isolation very hard. Yeah. And he's allergic to dogs and cats, so the poor guy, he can't even, deal with that. It's really too bad. So, yeah, I feel lucky because I can. I don't think once you live with, well, anyway, I never want to live without a dog. I want a dog near me, and
I'm that way with cats.
yeah.
I gotta have the cat energy.
Yeah. Holly, how are you doing?
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm doing okay. Yeah,
Good.
it was the weather has cooled down.
Wasn't it a beautiful day here?
Oh,
It's gorgeous.
Oh, nice for sleeping. That's very nice. Yes,
Perfect day. Perfect.
Yeah. Very nice.
I had the furnace on this morning. It was so cold in here.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
I just turned it off about when I came here.
Oh my gosh. Amazing. So,
Where
and
are
Carol,
you?
how are you?
Okay, and I thought that I've been doing pretty well since the shutdown since March.
Yeah.
But the last week, certain things seem to be bothering me, or certain physical symptoms. And so I think this was really good to have your suggestions on ways to calm the nervous system.
Okay. Yeah.
Because if I get my mind on other things, and I know that, I know it's good to go outside or go for a walk or go to the
Right.
garden.
Right.
But I don't know if it's been just the length of time that we're dealing with this, and we have a lot longer to deal with it.
I know.
So thank you, Donna.
Yeah, you're so welcome. I listened to a podcast. There's a Dr. Hyman. I don't know whether you guys know or heard of him. He's a functional medicine. He's like the founder of functional medicine. And he has a podcast called the Broken Brain Podcast. And he had a brain surgeon on not too long ago. And anyway, his comment at the end of the interview was that something about we'll get through this and we'll be better for it, because what's going to happen is that we're going to be able to respond with vaccines and whatever. We're learning how to respond more quickly to build a vaccine around viruses. So I thought, well, that's encouraging to hear. We're the guinea pigs right now, but.
Well, that is encouraging, but there was an article in the New York Times about that we're creating, I don't remember if they said a lost generation, kids who can't be in school and can't be social.
Yeah.
And, who knows how long that's going to be, because I think the majority of schools are